This physics question is about momentum, specifically when it's conserved, which means when you have two objects that collide and you know the final velocity and the mass of one object after the collision, you can calculate the final velocity of the other object. And you can do this because the total momentum is conserved. In other words, it's the same before and after the collision. In other words, the initial momentum is equal to the final momentum. So this question asks us if the first pool ball ends up going in the same direction with a speed of 10 meters per second, what is the new speed of the second pool ball? Okay, so it tells us that the mass of the first pool ball is 400 grams. The velocity initial of the first pool ball is 30 meters per second. And we know the final velocity of the first ball is 10 meters per second. The mass of the second pool ball, presumably the same, 400 grams. Velocity of the second initial is 0 meters per second. It's at rest. So we want to know the final velocity of the second ball. So we would first use this equation. Momentum initial is equal to momentum final. So we know that all travel in this question is in the same direction, so you can treat it as a scalar equation. You can first find the original total momentum by doing mass times velocity of the first movement, of the first ball. So it would be 0.4 kilograms times 30 meters per second, and we get this answer. Now we know since the initial momentum is equal to the final momentum, we know that this value, 12 kilograms times meters per second, is equal to the final momentum, which we would calculate by doing the mass times the velocity final of the first, or of the ball, plus the final momentum of the second ball, which we don't know yet. That's what we need to know. So we know that the initial momentum, that's 12 kilograms meters per second, is equal to, this turns out to be 4, the mass times velocity final of the first ball turns out to be 4, and we add that to the momentum final of the second ball. So then we solve for this value. So we would subtract 4, so that'd be 12 minus 4 is 8. And so we know that the momentum final of the second ball is 8 kilograms meters per second. And then to find the velocity of it, we would divide that by the mass of the ball. And we have found that the velocity final of the second ball is 20 meters per second.